Hello, everyone. My name is Gianmarco Ciarfaglia. Thank you to DSA for having me today. And I've been working in the AI field for the last 10 years. And today I'm going to talk about ChatGPT and generative AI and its business impact. So let's start from the very beginning. GPT. It's an acronym and it stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Sounds like a very complex name, but actually it's just an AI model with a very simple goal. And this goal is predict the next word of a text. So let's make an example. I will call the restaurant to reserve a table. Here, the model takes as input the very colorful part of the sentence and just predict the word table. Basically, it's just text completion, okay? We could also predict the last chapter of a book using the previous chapter. Let's also make some history here. First GPT model was released in 2018, and then the people that released it realized that the bigger was the size of the model, the better they worked. So in 2019, they released GPT-2 that became famous for a fake scientific paper about unicorns that spoke English. Yeah, people have a lot of fun with AI papers. In 2020, they released GPT-3, that is actually the model behind ChatGPT. And at the end of 2022, they released ChatGPT. So the technology didn't change. It was not a bigger model. So why did we have to wait so long? Well, OpenAI realized that text completion was nice, but what was even nicer was an AI that answered to your question following your instruction. So let's take a look at ChatGPT recipe. We have GPT-3 that is called pre-trained model. And it is a model that during training learn from all real world facts and all human knowledge from Wikipedia, World Wide Web, PubMed, Archive, and so on. Then they wanted the AI to follow the user instruction. So they specialized the model to do this, and they needed data to do this. But this data didn't exist. So they write this data by themselves, hiring hundreds of workers that wrote thousands of conversations where a user asks something to an AI and the AI just answers following the user instruction. But you can wonder, what's the meaning of following instruction? Well, here's an example. I asked to ChatGPT in Italian to act like an ice cream seller that has to sell me an ice cream that tastes of carbonara. And he has to do it, even though if I'm vegetarian, he has to do it alternating one sentence in Roman dialect and one sentence in very refined Italian. So I don't read it now, but you can see that it really sticks to my instruction, okay? So we saw that an AI that follows instruction can be funny, but the question is, what's the business impact of this? How did we get to the point that companies such IBM or British Telecom decided to change their hiring plan, replacing thousands of jobs with AI? Well, because they started to understand that if you have an AI that follows your instruction, maybe this AI can also works for you, maybe. And in some task can also replace you, maybe. So let's see some example of these use cases. The first is the most common, probably the one that everybody thinks about when someone talks about ChatGPT in business. So 24/7 specialized chatbot support. Think about a ChatGPT that is fully specialized and vertical on your data, on your domain, and that can give assistance to your customers 24 hours, 7 days per day. Another example, huge data exploration. Think about a huge call center that receives thousands of calls per day. With this technology, you can extract key points, summarizing those conversations, and this technology can help you navigate those data, okay? So you can know, for example, the trending topic your customers are talking about. Another example, documentation complex controls. Think about the legal sector, for example, okay, where people spend hours to compare documents, and these are tasks that are perfectly doable by a GPT model. I don't know, a legal GPT, maybe we will call it. So it's now clear that companies that will use this kind of technology, they will have a huge competitive advantage because they will have higher velocity at lower cost, of course. But if the message here is, let's use this technology, the question is also how. Of course, we can buy these services from big cloud providers, but is this the only way? Well, luckily not, because we have open source, okay? So the question is, can we build a ChatGPT vertical on your domain without using services or external products? Well, let's switch back for a while at the ChatGPT recipe. So I've been told you that we need the GPT-3, the pre-trained model that can cost millions of euros. Well, we don't need it because we have open source alternative for commercial use that works very good. Then we need the data of conversation between an AI and a user. Well, OpenAI helped us a lot with that because after the release of ChatGPT, people started to collect this conversation. So we have this data. There are 3 datasets of conversation between users and ChatGPT. So the answer is yes, it's doable. We can do it without buying big cloud provider services. This is how companies, only after 3 months of ChatGPT release, starting to have models like very similar to ChatGPT. Here's just an example. This is not ChatGPT. This is a model built from a company. So here, this AI shows self-awareness of being an AI made to help humans, such as ChatGPT, and is also able to answer to complex answers based on internal knowledge. Okay. Another example, because, okay, this is nice, but how can I use this for business? This is an example. I switched to Italian because it's very important, the fact that these models can work in different languages, and ChatGPT is not the one, it's not the only one that is able to do it. Here I ask to this AI to act like a virtual assistant that have to help students to get information about their exam, okay? And he has to use only the information about the context and not answering to any other questions, because this is what we want with this kind of technology. We want to customize the behavior, okay? And this is possible with this kind of technology. You can see that is really have the ability to understand the intent and retrieve information in different languages. So I told you that to get this vertical and customized ChatGPT with the open source version, we need GPT-3 and the data where an AI follow the user instruction. Well, that's not complete because we need the one ingredient more. This ingredient is skills, and these skills are prompt engineering. And it's important to say that these skills are very useful, not only to build your ChatGPT, but also to use it. And this is something that it's interesting for all of us. We'll also hold a 3-hour course about that. And basically, the skills are the answer to the question, how can I make ChatGPT do what I tell him to do? Because it's not always this easy. And the skills at this time are pretty rare for different reasons. Well, first, because they are new, but no, that's not the only reason. Also because they need to be constantly updated. I often talk with Microsoft, and they tell us that every month there are more than 1,000 projects about GPT every month. Okay. So till now we talk about AI and that use input text as input. But here I want to give you a little taste about where are we going from here now. And the future is multimodal. So we are talking about a ChatGPT that is not only read text, but is capable of reading or taking as input images, videos, audio, and so on. Here's an example. This is GPT-4. This is a preview. It's not available for commercial use yet. From the left, you can see a user that asked the AI, what's funny about this image? Describe it to me. And you can see that GPT-4 really go deeply and really understand what's inside the image, and also what's the meaning of humor for a human being. This is very particular. On the right, let's switch to a more technical topic, let's say. We ask the AI to solve a physics problem in French, and we ask the question, sorry, in English. Then we give the AI the picture that contain the problem in French and a diagram. And here you can see that the AI give the correct answer, understanding the diagram and the written inside the picture. Okay, but this is just a preview. So actually, it's not available. It's not usable for commercial use. Yes, it's true, but we have open source. Remember, this is a model that works pretty similar to GPT-4, and it's available. You can use it also today. You can see from the left that the behavior is pretty similar, because there the user asks to the AI to write an advertisement about that picture. And on the right, the user asks the AI to write HTML from the drawing. Okay, and it works. So it's clear that this technology will have a lot of power in the future. But as we know, with great power comes great responsibility. And I don't want to go deeply in the ethical AI here, or in the risk of the AI, but we need to start somewhere here in Italy also. And this was our part, actually. This is what we did to start to raise public awareness, that it's the first step. Me with my team, we developed this speech that was read from a senator in the Senate of the Italian Republic. Of course, he read the speech without telling anyone that it was written by the AI, and nobody noticed it. Okay. And it was, of course, this speech was built through a prompt engineering techniques that is called chain of talks, and it wouldn't be possible without it. So, in conclusion, this is the question: will AI replace human? Of course, I do not know this. I do not know the answer, but I can tell you what a lot of many smart people in the AI field think. Human will not be replaced by AI, but human will be replaced by another human who uses AI. Okay, thank you.
Any question?
So thank you very much for the presentation. I have a question, which is, how would you overcome the fact that by instructing AI and by giving them instructions, you create a sort of bubble? It's like when I use social media, I'm perfectly aware of the fact, I work in communication, so I know that most of the time information I got are polarized. So if I'm instructing this machine, I think that I will limitate my creativity because I'm already giving them some things that I'm expecting to receive. Then, of course, it can simplify my job, but then at the end of the day, I would guess it could kind of limiting the rest, because it's solving the current problem, but it's not opening to the rest of the world. I don't know have you thought about this problem? How are you overcoming it?
Actually, here we are talking about biases. So this is a very, very hot topic in this moment in the AI field. And there are, of course, solutions to this problem, but we are not able to fix this problem yet. That's why everybody is very concerned about this kind of technology. You probably heard the newspaper in the last days. Everybody is getting crazy about ChatGPT so I think that we must consider the first what I said before, like we have to increase public awareness, so people knows that talking with an AI they will get this problem. So this is the first step. Second step is find a technical solution to solve this problem that is not available yet, but I hope there will be.
Thank you very much, Gianmarco.